Hi again, I'm Jim Healy at Rooted in Love. Early in our marriage, I would pick up Madonna, or Madonna would pick me up, and she'd tell me about her day. She'd say, this happened, and then this person said this, and then that person said that. My comment about that was, and she would go on, and I'd be thinking to myself, okay, is there a point to this, honey? Can you kind of scroll forward and tell me why you're telling me this? And the point was there was no point. And I mean that in a good way. There's something called rapport talk, where we talk just to grow closer, to share our lives with each other. Well, after Madonna had talked for a while, she'd finally say, well, that's what happened to me. Now, what happened to you today? And of course, you can guess what I would say. I'd say, nothing. And I meant it because nobody got killed, nobody got fired, nothing to report. And that's a different style from rapport talk. It's called report talk. We talk to share information. If there's no information, important information, then why would we talk? It's like this apocryphal story about a man and a woman in counseling, and supposedly the wife said to her husband, she says, why don't you tell me you love me more often? I think I could handle most of these other things if you just told me you love me. And the man said, look, we got married 31 years ago. On that day, I told you I loved you. If it changes, I'll let you know. Well, there's somebody who's really into report talk. Nothing new to report, okay, rather than rapport talk. Well, this isn't really to demonize either approach because they both have their place. And the point is, if you are more comfortable with one of those two approaches, the idea is to stretch the other way. And so sometimes I've had to learn that Madonna doesn't need the answer. She's not just sharing information that I'm supposed to analyze and then come up with a solution. And sometimes she'll just tell me this. She says, now, Jim, I don't need the answer, okay? I just want to tell you about, what happened at the meeting. And the gift is not the answer. The gift is listening, okay? On the other hand, if you're more into rapport talk, then sometimes the other person might say, well, I don't want to talk right now. Can you just kind of sit down next to me and maybe we can read together, and that'll make me feel like we're close. And sometimes the other person will sit down, and after a minute will say, well, if we're not going to talk, I'm going to go do something. So we both have to stretch. Okay? The point is to do things together that help us to be emotionally close, because as Stephen Stasny says, if a couple is emotionally close, the men talk more, and the women need less talk. And so we find a way of coming together. So God bless you, and please consider hitting that subscribe button.